Hello, everyone, and welcome to Concordia University's Fourth Space. And thank you for joining us for today's event, 8 Voices, the finalists for the QWF Spoken Word Prize. And to help situate you, we are streaming to YouTube live from Fourth Space, located on unceded Indigenous lands in Tiohtià:ke, Montreal. And at Fourth Space, we work with our university community to help mobilize knowledge by co-creating daily activities that examine research questions, projects, things in development here at the university. And today, for this event, I'm very pleased to pass the mic over to the Executive Director for the Quebec Writers Federation, Laurie Schubert.
Merci tout le monde. Bienvenue, bonjour. Nous sommes ravis que vous soyez parmi nous cet après-midi, ici ou en ligne. Before we start, I'd like to share some bad news for our community. A couple of hours ago, the first spoken word artist I ever met in my life, and someone I loved dearly, and I know many of you did too, Ian Ferrier, passed away. I'm so sorry to share that with you, but I felt it was important to dedicate this performance to him because he's been so important to the spoken word community in Montreal and Quebec, and indeed Canada. So this is the second year that QWF has been running the Spoken Word Award, and we're thrilled to finally have an award that showcases the vast range of talent in literary performance in our province. The prize is open to Quebec-based spoken word, storytelling, and literary performance artists working primarily in English in any form of performative writing, including poetry, story, monologue, hip-hop, dub, sound poetry, experimental, and interdisciplinary work. I'm really excited to present this year's finalists also for a second year in a row at the Read Quebec Book Fair. And we're doing that in collaboration with Concordia University's Spoken Web Research Network. Jason Camlott, a professor here at Concordia and director of Spoken Web, hosted this event last year. He's sadly unable to attend this year, but he asked me to share a few words with you. And I'm going to share those words from way over here, so you know when I go back to my own voice. Sorry, you're sitting in my seat. Okay. So I'm Jason. Spoken Web, its researchers, archivists, and librarians, students, writers, and artists have been very proud to be involved in helping support the QWF Spoken Word Prize showcase in these early years of the award. In case you are not aware, the Spoken Web partnership aims to develop coordinated and collaborative approaches to literary historical study, digital development, and critical and pedagogical engagement with diverse collections of literary sound recordings from across Canada and beyond. Over the past 6 years, we have worked on locating and preserving collections that document literary readings and other forms of literary activity that were first recorded on media formats such as reel-to-reel and cassette tape, mini discs, and high-8 videotape, among many others. We digitize these materials, describe them, and make them discoverable for people to use in research, teaching, and just for pleasure. The Spoken Web program begins with the preservation and description of sonic artifacts that have captured literary events of the past and quickly moves into a wide range of approaches and activities like archival readings and new sound works to activate these artifacts in the present. We are excited for the finalists for the prize this year, and we will help preserve the recording of this event made in Fourth Space for future audiences. Congratulations to the finalists, and enjoy the show. See what I did there? Now, if I say we, I mean we. We have 8 outstanding artists to present in the rest of this hour, so we should get started. We're featuring the finalists in alphabetical order to keep you guessing as to who might be the winners this year. But if you want to know who they are, you'll have to come to the QWF Awards Gala, which is a week from Monday, November 13th at the Lion d'Or. And for more information about that, you can check out our website or the QWF table at the book fair. We're the first table on your right as you enter the book fair. Michael BeWyrd Clark is a slam poet based in Tiohtià:ke. He is the president of the Throw Poetry Collective, which showcases competitive yet friendly bilingual poetry slams every first Saturday at Le Basement. He has a master's degree in educational technology and is also a musician, live streamer, and martial artist. The jury praised BeWyrd's strong writing and rhythmical performance style. They enjoyed the original rhythms and the authentic content and expression in his piece. Please put your hands together for BeWyrd.
Thank you, Lori, and thank you, QWF, for putting this event together. It means a lot to the spoken word community, especially Throw Poetry Collective. Thank you. This was Tear Down the Statues. Drown them in pain, dye them blood red. Force everyone to see all of the dead. Tear down the statues. What are these virtues? Cast down the crowns cast in cement. Cast down the systems that lie in torment. Tear down the statues. New voices break through. Who got to be white. Power won't concede unless you can fight. Tear down the statues. The past is preview. Question it all, decolonize. How deaf can we be to all of the cries? Tear down the statues. Let chaos ensue. No end in sight, powers that be. Drag us all down into calamity. Tear down the statues. Don't let them construe. Don't let them lie. Truth can be mine. Truth can be yours and ours. All of the time. Tear down the statues. Subvert and subdue. Grab all you can, pull every strand. This nation's fabric that rules over land. Tear down the statues. Living in mildew. Rot at our core? What was it for? Borders or hoarders, they only want more. Tear down the statues. This country's tattoo. Under the skin, it's permanent. Pass down every sin to all the children. Tear down the statues. Tear down the statues, 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 you, tear down the statues, me, tear down the statues, you, tear down the statues, we, tear down the statues, you, tear down the statues, me, tear down the statues, you, tear down the statues, we. What are these virtues? New voices break through. Let chaos ensue. The past is preview. Don't let them construe. Subvert and subdue. Living in mildew. This country's tattoo. Tear down the statues. Tear down the statues. Tear down the statues. Tear down the statues. Drown them in paint. Cast down the crowns. Who got to be? No end in sight. Question it all. Don't let them lie. Grab all you can. Rot out a core under the skin. Tear down the statues. Tear down the statues. Tear down the statues. Tear down the statues. Dye them blood red. Cast in cement. Got to be white. Powers that be. Decolonize. Truth can be mine. Pull every strand. What was it for? It's permanent. Tear down the statues, tear down the statues, tear down the statues, tear down the statues. Force everyone to see all of the dead. Cast down the systems that lie in torment. Power won't concede unless you can fight. Drag us all down into calamity. How deaf can we be to all of the cries? Truth can be yours and ours all of the time. This nation's fabric that rules over land. Borders are hoarders, they only want more. Pass down every sin to all the children. Tear down the statues for all the missing. Tear down the statues for all the missing. Pass down every sin to all the children. Tear down the statues for all the missing. Pass down every sin to all the children. Pass down every sin to all the children. Tear down the statues for all the missing. Tear down the statues for all the missing, all the missing, all the missing, all the missing, all of them sing, 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 sing, all of them sing. Thank you.
Lucia de Luca is a recipient of the 2022 Spoken Word Prize, a two-time Canadian Individual Poetry Slam finalist, and a member of the 2023 Throw Poetry Collective Slam team. Her poems cradle stories of her past, self, family, Italian heritage, chronic illness, and love. The jury felt that Lucia shows real promise and knows how to utilize her training without being swallowed up by it. They liked the way she used time and distance so succinctly through the odometers of the different cars in her submission. Please welcome Lucia de Luca.
Hi everyone, I'm actually not doing the same poem I submitted, so that reference to cars will not come up in this piece, just as a heads up. In flight, I open my special meal, put one of the white saucy blobs on my fork, and sniff it. I read the label to find out that my gluten-free vegetarian meal is Mediterranean chicken. I call the flight attendant and explain there has been a mistake. She tells me that on Air Transat flights, a person can only be gluten-free or vegetarian. I clarify that I spent an hour and a half waiting for an agent to take my call, have email confirmation that my meal should meet both my restrictions. She assures me she'll add the error to her final report. Final reports don't feed me, so I ask for more of the sides. There are no more bean salads or gluten-free bread. She offers me some of the fruit and veggies set aside for staff. I don't always do well with raw food, not about to gamble at 35,000 feet. I ration my safety snacks instead. Airplane food doesn't give a shit that I have the Star Alliance of Gastrointestinal Disorders, IBS and Crohn's, chooses between my dietary restrictions for me without consulting my dietitian. Doesn't know how risky this is because no travel insurance will cover me for Crohn's complications because not all my test results were in, because I hadn't decided on a medication, because it had been less than 3 months since my diagnosis. 6 years of debilitating symptoms don't count until a doctor starts listening, uses their authority to confirm what my gut already told me. At a restaurant at a small town in Italy, I ordered just grilled vegetables because it is the only thing in the whole town I can eat. When I say no grazie to bread, the waiter who takes it back turns to a coworker with an eye roll, says, non vuole nemmeno il pane. She doesn't even want bread. Not realizing I understand Italian, the other replies, lei è un po' pazza. She's a bit crazy. On the flight home, my gluten-free vegetarian meal is Mediterranean chicken again. I don't call for a flight attendant because on an Air Transat flight, I am the mistake for boarding with more than one dietary restriction. I don't inform anyone that inflammatory bowel disease is quiet until it's lit, synchronizes with IBS's tempo, leaves an ulcered weak spot with each fierce step. I don't tell anyone that I tried to make things easier by avoiding only one match, gluten, and requesting only one circuit breaker, vegetarianism. I don't tell anyone not to hold too much dairy or fat or sugar or alcohol or caffeine or anything carbonated too close to me. I don't tell them that my most easily lit match waits for the lowest part of my small intestine to leak gasoline to the bottom of my colon before it makes me combust. I don't tell them that the most flammable bottle in me is anxiety, that they're tipping it over by making a situation that was supposed to be predictable unpredictable. I just eat the sides.
I just wanted to tell you who the jurors were for this competition. We have a really distinguished panel. Jillian Christmas, Kim Dominique Ferguson, who might be in the room, I think not yet. He's doing a signing out there for his new play right now, but he'll be in by the end of the event. And Shari D. Wilson. Nick Lachance is a white queer trans settler currently living in Jojage, colonially known as Montreal. Their poetry has been published in a queer anthology of healing, Guts magazine, Room magazine, FM and Other, Metatron Press, Articulation magazine, Griffle, Sand Literature and Art, and Damaged Goods Press, among others. Their writing follows queer and trans inquiries of the felt, intersecting sense of land, wound, and body. The jury found Nick's piece to be beautifully written and memorable. They praised their stunning language, rhythmical schemes, and smooth vocals. Please welcome Nick Lachance.
Great. Hi, everyone. It's okay. Great. Hi, everyone. Hey. Thank you so much for having us. I'm really grateful to be here. I want to speak just really quickly. I am going to be doing a different piece than I submitted. And this poem is dedicated to Palestine and to liberation. Stay with me. I'll also invite everyone to try and listen from a different part of their body than their head. And if it doesn't make sense, just roll with it. I will be wicked, I promise. Misunderstood, I promise. Buckle boy knees who felt heartbroken 13 times. Fallen pairs of green body hearts that lost a leaf friend, maybe millions. Maybe the roots ruptured way back. And then the shame body. The stretched out daughter body, the dinner table body, how her pit matched the world, but it's only politics, right? Governments have bodies. Legacies, lineage have bodies. Memories become bodies. Countries as bodies. The bodies of the ones on the website and the bodies of the ones who built the whole thing. Ideas have bodies. Wars have bodies. Bombs have bodies. The grief river become bodied. The bodies plea us under clumping feet we cannot hear. Lichen body learns to make microplastics into seed body. Pepsi hold cans line the sky of the forest floor, low bodies. Chocolate turf bodies. Cardamom leaf. Martyr body like 5 years old. Imprints of Starbucks logo on a burnt body. Gray hooded face from phosphorus gas body. Cancel circle body. At least admit we share this air body. Imagine the skyscrapers revolting against us, a debate on your back as we are lowered into the ground by an idea body, by an idea. Earth trembles its black crumb. In the earth is another earth body, wailing that body. Bodies on top of bodies, bombs on top of bodies, bodies in case of bodies, boom, boom instead of body, body erased by bodies. West and white shaped body, you know that looking away body on the surface of each body, blown up by guilt body, cells line up on the front lines. Protest. Membranes flipping, blended muscle exhaling, an ocean calls of wound, unscheduled body. Balanced by wet lands where fish crawl these bodies. With arcs and endings, with lips and needs, with loss and more loss, throat bodies prepare. Mother's boiling warm seawater body, rice and milk cinnamon stick body while bodies end over and over and bodies born over and over. All this atop the white body, trembling under the artifact of true body, truth body, its oops body, its scroll body, its semantic and lifelong edge body, its forgetting this, I forgot white body, shaped by thyroid tongue, shame diseasey body, the body passed down through stone-faced stomach with special enzyme to digest lactose, that empty body. The land we bought for love body, look, white body, body white latching. I made real body people carry my bodiless eternity, and as a whole, I could just call us a child body. Winning this way is a kind of losing. And what do we say to these bodies? The overlapping, the grief body, the invisible, the body that grow unwanted, the way we are made of each other, the ugly, the dying, the pillar-cracked body, the untitled, the snarking, bodies of fingers uncurling body, bodies of buried body, bodies of seeds, the seeds of bodies, the seeds of many bodies, the seeds of each with nucleus godly body, bumpery ovary, impossible, it's all of these bodies. Bumpy ovary, and it's possible, it's all of these bodies. Grief, you bitch, I dare you to change me. I dare you to let me know all the bodies. Please do not let them fly away. Grief, let die this only my way, only my cell's body. Let die this supposed supreme body, smitten and sharpened so it climbs and climbs and climbs and climbs past all the plea, the pleas, the plagues, the picket, the protest, the pelvis, the praying, the pace, the Palestines. And in the night when my phone sleeps, the earth recites to me all the wars that recognize me, all the wars in my name. I am their lullaby in my name. O mud, O sacrum, O belonging, O molten turf at the feet of tree bodies, I work the war songs in the ground until it is dead and compost. I eat its lessons. We become olive trees. Thank you so much.
Caitlin Murphy is a writer, director, and dramaturg. She has performed in one-woman shows, stand-up and sketch comedy, and a web series she created called Mothers Try. Caitlin has also written and directed plays and short films. She was a finalist for the 2022 QWF Spoken Word Prize. The jury felt that Caitlin presented a moving, well-thought-out, and relatable story with important explorations of shame and parental guilt. Please welcome Caitlin Murphy.
Nobody hears all the times you don't scream at your kids. All those screams you somehow manage to swallow or stifle or accidentally save for later. These brilliant moments of parental heroics never make a sound. When I scream at my kids, because every parent screams at their kids, every parent, even the ones who've discovered breathing techniques or mindful parenting or heard some great expert on a podcast one time, when I scream at my kids, the first thought that comes to me before even I'm sorry is, who heard that? Who heard that? How loud was that? How thin are these walls? Did I have a window open before? Who's at home right now? Didn't I hear the guy upstairs walking earlier? How thin are these fucking walls? Who heard that? Because I'm ashamed, of course. I'm ashamed that I lost it. And the scream was the unmistakable signal of that failure. So now I have to investigate how exposed I've been in that failure so I can calculate how much further down the shame spiral I need to dive. So who heard that? But then I think, you know what? Fuck them. Fuck them. They don't have kids. Nobody in this building other than me has kids, so they don't know. They don't know. They don't know. They don't get it. They don't understand the long and wicked, twisted journey that's brought you to the point of this stupid scream, the many, 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 many moments just prior to this scream when you could have screamed, when you would have been totally entitled to scream your face off and didn't. They just hear the actual scream. The one explosion, not the million containments. I live in a building with 8 units representing approximately 15 to 20 people. I know precisely nobody's name and precisely nobody knows mine. I wonder if I'm known as the Anglo woman who lives downstairs with 2 boys and no man. I wonder if anyone's put together that the father of my children lives down the street. What's the gauzy story my neighbors have made up about me and my life? How judgy is it compared to the ones I've made up about them and theirs? I've lived here 4 years now. When I first moved in, my neighbors and I seemingly agreed almost immediately that we wouldn't acknowledge one another, ever. Deal, fine, let's do that. Or not do that, as the case may be. Good call, less work. Who can be bothered? Fuck it, right? We've been committed to this non-engagement ever since. Oh, there's that person I don't say hi to, I tell myself almost as a reminder. Right, don't want to ruin that streak. Because there's no going back. We can't change now. Reverse course? Can you imagine if my neighbors and I suddenly started cracking smiles and swapping hello bonjours? What? No. No. How the hell would we make any sense of what we've been doing up until now? No. Stay the course of disconnection. When I scream at my kids, my voice goes low and growly, like I'm dredging up a demon from some terrible abyss, gathering up all the darkness that's been building through the day, and for some reason I usually scream in French. Ça suffit! Ça suffit! It's a terrible sound that I hate as soon as I make, but also know I had no choice not to summon. Most of the time I forget I can even sound like that. It hurts my throat just to do it. I hear the voice again and think, oh yeah, that fucking bitch. Maybe that's why I say things in French, so I can feel like the voice isn't actually me. One time my sons and I were building a snowman on the front stoop of our building. God, I hate winter. And a man walked by us to use the stairs, and as he did, he said something like, "Thanks for improving the neighborhood, guys." What? Did he? I was shocked. I was shocked he said something nice. I was shocked he said something in English. I was shocked he said anything at all. Oh, wow. Wow. There were two wows. The first wow was happy and the second was sad. Like, wow, someone saw us and said something nice to us. Then, wow, what have I become accustomed to that first wow makes sense? I couldn't even tell you whether the guy actually lived in the building. He may have just been visiting since he was obviously unaware of our unspoken policy of not speaking. It's not that anybody ever says anything mean to me and my kids, but nobody ever says anything at all. Sometimes I feel like I'm that Haley Joel Osment character in The Sixth Sense and my kids are Bruce Willis. I see little people. Does anybody else know that these people exist? These people I scream at sometimes. When I wish I didn't. When I should have done better. When it had been going on all day. When I apologized later. When they had been total dicks. When I was within my rights. When I had no business. When do you have any idea how fucking hard this gets sometimes? These little people I scream at sometimes, yes, and you hear it. You hear the Anglo woman with two boys and no man screaming at her kids again, but I worry just because you can hear it, you get to think that's all I do. The noises that you hear aren't the only sounds we make. Thank you.
Alexis O'Hara is an interdisciplinary artist whose practice focuses on activist allegories of the human voice. She has released 4 albums and a book of poetry. In 2016, she was awarded the Powerhouse Prize by La Centrale, Canada's longest-running feminist art gallery. The jury said Alexis O'Hara's piece made them laugh, but also that it was a deeply emotive performance with articulation of word and body. It turned white privilege on its head. Please welcome Alexis O'Hara.
I'm not going to do the piece that I submitted, but I hope that I turn white privilege on its head every day. Hi, I'm going to use a timer because these days I find our time is precious, yours and mine. We were told we had 5 minutes for our set, and I know there's a very good reason that that should be met. Now, some performers might take more than 5. I don't begrudge them. If you know me, you know I've taken up more than my share of time in the past. Why, once I went on for 21 when I was told explicitly that I had to be done at 7. I thought I was killing it, and maybe I was, but in the end, that was probably a little bit rude, or that's my first 30. Hey, wow, so nice to be here, really, so nice. It's been a while. It's been like a pandemic, I guess. Oh, you know, I'm okay. Hashtag blessed be, LOL. I mean, more like hashtag unearned privileges, am I right? Hello, long time. Oh, you know, the hardest part about my life is just letting myself be happy about how great my life is. Oh, still shaking off that settler guilt, gotcha. Itchy crotch from straddling the fence between trying to enjoy the rights my foremothers fought for and condemning my heritage of racist ill-gotten gains. But the Irish aren't like white, right? Oh, hi, nice to see you. Oh, me, you know, just living my best life on a backdrop of a live-streamed ethnic cleansing, war machine propaganda, death rattle, fossil fuel, land grab, climate catastrophe, billionaire, bankrupt mirror world, but fine. I'm so happy to be here. My mask, well, there were 65 new deaths in Quebec last week and infections are rising, but I certainly don't want to make you feel guilty or anything. I'm just trying to slow the spread, and TBH, my jai line is kind of amplified, and I'm scrambling down the ageist sinkhole, trying to find wisdom kick in as I lose my mind and reach for the pipe at 11 a.m. It's a gimmick, some may say, and I ken to that. Blame the machines and praise the machines. They are my least challenging collaborators. I'm concerned about the future of AI, but not because I'm afraid of robots. I think robots are swell. What I'm really concerned about is how the imperialist, capitalist, industrial war complete is going to do with the robots. That's scary. We need, I don't know, ethics? And yes, I did unfriend and block you after you shared doctored photos from a genocidal government's official excat count. I suppose I meant to mute you and not block you, but I hadn't had my coffee yet. Dramatic. While we're discussing utopian scenarios that hopefully don't involve the mass displacement of indigenous populations, land back! Can we please talk about maximum wealth? Can we talk about maximum wage? And just decide on potentially what's immoral? I mean, can there be consensus? No, probably not. Probably not. Luxury is still being crammed down our throats, and I don't know, did you see how cute Kim Kardashian finds the climate catastrophe in the shilling of her new nipple prosthetic bra? At least we're not Americans, L to the fucking OL. Canada, you're looking a little war crime sympathizery these days, while the island state of Maldives that is literally sinking into the ocean, victims of the climate changing crimes of our fossil fuel fucking consumer culture, is sending 2 million cans of tuna to Gaza. We're sending special ops to the oppressor. It's not a good look. It's not a good look, I'd say. I thought I'd just slip in a moment of silence. I hope it was good for you. In case you want to know more about me, I'm wearing these glasses because they don't do LASIK for old eyes. It'll probably happen to you. I mean, may you live long enough to get presbyopia. Inshallah. What was my pandemic pivot? Well, I became the kind of person who lets a dog kiss them on the mouth. Humans, there's a lot to dislike. Now I spend my days as a patient attendant as my dog reads his P-mails. I was thinking about the habits of certain dog park dads, ascribing their puritanical, sex-negative human morality on their dogs, embarrassed by the unbridled joy of a humping dog, the humper and the humped. I tell you, it's a hard time to be a white man. Ding dong, ding dong. Oh, hi. How's everybody doing? Feeling sad? Feeling mad? Well, why the fuck not? It's not complicated. The voices, which voices are you trusting? Which voices are you amplifying? The voices in my head, the voices on my screen, the voices in my hand, the voices. Use your energy wisely. And my beloved queers, Don't bother fighting with the trolls who want to pink wash their racism to bait you. Oh, hi. How are you? Thank you.
In case you're wondering if it's hard to evaluate these performances and choose winners, yes, it is. The jury works very hard at it. The guidelines that we give them, because we do take submissions on video, are to disregard the production values of the video, so that if somebody has better resources, they're recorded at a professional event, that doesn't give them an edge, at least theoretically, over someone who's in their own apartment and using their cell phone. So what we ask them to evaluate is the text and the personal performance of that text. Give you a little insight. Raïssa Simone is a multidisciplinary artist and writer based in Jojage. She has competed at numerous national poetry slams and been invited to perform at multiple spoken word shows, including the Canadian Festival of Spoken Word, Toronto International Poetry Slam, Hillside Festival, and When Sisters Speak. The jury was impressed with Raïssa Simone's comfortable delivery. They remarked that her piece was reminiscent of Nina Simone's My Skin is Black, a quiet evisceration of another colonialist. Please welcome Raïssa Simone.
Thank you so much, Lori, and thank you, QWF, for having all of us here. That's wonderful to hear that it was reminiscent of Nina Simone, because I'm obsessed with Nina Simone, so that's the best compliment I could have possibly gotten today, so thank you. That's very, very sweet to hear. I'm going to do the poem that I submitted to the contest, which is called Buying History. He joked once at a party that I had mulatto skin. And now if he'd stopped there, he could have been forgiven, but he rolled onwards like a wayward tumbleweed, weaving his tales of colonial fame and claiming that he had known Africa since he had been to its heart. But his heart of darkness was nothing more than a ripoff, the recycled pages of another xenophobe. You see, he was trying to play himself off as Joseph Conrad 2.0. But you see, I carry my African heart, not at the stern of a boat, but in the sternum under my throat. My ancestors didn't bleed blue like you, they bled red through black skin, but for him, history could be bought with a gold card. He saw green in the dirt plots of that continent, but not that of the grass. But he still asked if he could at least lean to the other side. He still compared his history to slavery. He believed that he could purchase adventure and then call it bravery. He wanted his whiteness to be a get-out-of-jail-free card, and then he did on so many occasions and couldn't grasp why he was blockaded. Couldn't see that the melanin in our bodies can't be excavated. Hard as he tried, you can't find Malcolm X or B.B. King in an archaeological dig, but he wanted to be king of a mutinous castle. Wanted to be Lion of the Pride, but couldn't hide. He was just a wolf in sheep's clothing, just a joker playing prince, just a dwarf dressed as a giant, and he forgot that my foremothers were those mammoths he took as meek. You see, he forgot that a past means survival, and that history means life, and that the strife of a people cannot be adopted like a stray cat, cannot be plucked from its mound. But he had circled Jerusalem and thought that that meant he'd weathered Ezra by the pound. His jet-setting message was paper-mache'd and Benjamins, and bigotry trimming the tails of his jacket, and so maybe I should have lifted the veil. Should have heralded him with 1,000 lines of anger. Maybe I should have shown him the dollar signs on his dirty knees, or maybe I should have just told him, My skin is the exact color that it should be. Thank you.
Svens Telemaque has a unique perspective on life and challenges the average perception of circumstances, faith, and emotion. After relocating to Montreal in 2007, he co-founded Raïssa, a poetry collective, and released his first book, Pen of a Ready Writer, Volume 1, in 2014. The jury particularly enjoyed the way Svens Telemaque relates to his audience. That's you. They admired his relaxed delivery and his classical rhyming couplets with a hip-hop vibe. Put your hands together for Svens Telemaque.
That's perfect. Thank you. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much. It's really an honor to be here. I'm very honored to be featured amongst all of you great artists as well. So this is not the poem that I will perform during the gala. Another reason for y'all to come through. This is a poem from my book, which is called If Haitian Blood Were Oil. So I'd like you to take the time to really think about my question. And my question is derived from actually taking the time to do some research on what happened during the earthquake in Haiti and other events that are going around the world right now and back then and still. If Haitian blood were oil, would they take the time to dig them up? How much would be spent in searching? How long before they gave up? Would they search with dying effort, knowing oil was so precious? Or would they consider our lives less valuable, tarry and soon forget it? If Haitian blood were oil, would they send search and rescue or just more troops? Would they exhaust every option and do all that they could do? If Haitian babies had a value equivalent to just 1 gallon, would they have prioritized entry to physicians or perhaps a great battalion? If Haitian blood, pain, and grief could fill up 250,000 tanks, would they leave us under the ruins till the barrels rusted and stank? If Haitians were crude oil, just how much time would they invest in treating that oil so it could be refined? If Haitians were gasoline, would they risk the supposed chaos just to feed us, send their sons to a foreign territory with tools so they could reach us? If the deeper they dug, the more oil they wrought, would they cover that vast territory without missing a spot? If Haitian blood were petroleum, would they let it bleed across the streets, or would they cherish and preserve it, not with spare drop to seep? We can substitute that word Haitian for any nation right now going through trouble. If Tootsie tears were diamonds, 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 carats beyond our means to measure, would the genocide of a people been avoided, life deemed worthy of the greatest treasure? If Tootsie tears mounted the rings of every bride across the nation, would the dreadful events of 1994 and 2023 been those of great elation? If the anguish of Moldovan sex slaves served as prime stocks and bonds, would Wall Street's investors trade justice and liberty to place value where it belongs? The forgotten little girls in India, the modern day slaves constructing Grand Dubai, the concrete cured by the sweat of its indentured laborers as the developers flirt with the sky, coltan miners, child soldiers, and organ traffickers of Brazil, the conspiracies and all the lies sugar-coated by news, which is surreal. If things were used and people loved, oh, how much better place the world would be. If things were used and people loved. Things were created to be used. People were created to be loved. But the problem with society is that people use people for the things that they love. If things were used and people loved, oh, how a much better place the world would be. If we could live lives no longer centered on money, but in the service of catering to the oppressed and their pleas, if and only if we did not place such a value on vanity.
Deb Vanslet is a media artist, storyteller, and writer. Her videos explore storytelling and performance. Deb hosted Dykes on Mics, CKUT-FM, for 16 years. She is a co-producer of Confabulation, live storytelling. She won the 2015, we don't go back that far, 2015 Carte Blanche Prize for her piece Self-Serve, and Ghost Station was published in the Malahat Review. The jury praised Deb Vanslet's piece as a well-told tale from an experienced voice in which humor and deep emotion move with good pacing and delicious language. Welcome, Deb Vanslet.
It is an honor to be in this company. Thank you. In 1975, I'm 14 years old, and Neil Sedaka's Laughter in the Rain plays many times a day on CKGM Montreal Pop Radio. This song really captures my attention. There's a high-pitched voice. Ooh, I hear laughter in the rain, walking hand in hand with the one I love. Is that a woman singing about another woman? I'm sure the DJ says that it's Neil Sedaka, but I don't hear that. I never register that. Teenagers listen to music with a certain kind of obsession, searching for ourselves, identity, meaning. And I'm a budding dyke in a small Quebec town, but I don't know that. I'm a tomboy. I play boys' sports with my dad, my brothers, the boys in the neighborhood. But school is different. That's where the girls are. And in my little elementary school, ages 6 to 9, I'm very drawn to Joanne. She's at the top of our little pecking order because she is the youngest of 9 siblings, and she has a lot of information and quite a vocabulary about body parts and what adults do when kids aren't in the room and babies. And to the rest of us little girls, it's all very fantastical and kind of hard to believe. But I just want to hang around Joanne, and I'll do almost anything for her, and she knows it. And she calls me her best friend, mostly. But she's always testing my loyalty. Like the whisper campaigns where I go to school, she whispers something to somebody, and suddenly nobody's talking to me for that day and the next day. And then suddenly it's over, and I'm her best friend again, and I'm ridiculously happy. The spell starts to wear off. I'm 11 years old, we've gone to a bigger school, and Joanne is quite a bit more interested in boys, and so are my other friends. And by 12 and 13, I'm also reading Tiger Beat, teen magazines, and I can see that big feelings await us all, feelings that we can't contain or control. And my friends are talking quite a bit about these feelings, but I don't really feel them, and I'm not really talking about them, so I figure I've got to work a little harder at it. So Wayne is a nice guy. I like playing softball with him at lunch hour. I'm gonna have a crush on Wayne. So I write a note, I tell him how much I like him, and I put it in his locker. And this is a few days before the school dance, so I figure he's gonna read it, he'll like me, he'll ask me to slow dance. But at the dance, I see him in a sweaty embrace with my friend Pascal. And so I'm confused and a bit hurt, but like, what part of me is hurt exactly? Is this love? Is this my heart? Like, am I a bit heartbroken? Because if this is what everybody's talking about, it's really overrated. It's so exaggerated. But of course, I'm not counting my elementary school obsession with Joanne, and I'm not thinking about Kathy, the older girl on the school bus who gets on a few stops after me, and I always want her to sit a lot closer than she ever does. And then there's the older girl on my softball team. She's the pitcher, and I can never ask her for anything, ever. And when I do think about girls, I think about being a boy. I want to be a boy. I want to wear what they wear. I want to do what they do. I want to have a girlfriend. But I can't, because I'm not a boy. Until, ooh, I hear laughter in the rain. 1975, I'm 14 years old. Every year, my family and I, my parents and my younger brothers, we go camping to the Maritimes. And around the fire of 1975, my mom is humming my song. And I can feel it like bubbling up inside of me, and then bloop. It's weird to hear a woman sing about another woman that way. Well, unless, I guess, you're a lesbian. And there it was, this word. I didn't even know I knew this word. And my parents are shocked, like, what? Why would you say that? And my younger brothers are like, what? What did she say? And I don't remember what happened after that. Although we didn't talk about the word lesbian or why I might have used it. It's 1975, it's only been 4 years since homosexuality's been taken off the books as a psychiatric disorder. So the word lesbian disappears into the flames for quite a few more years. But something lit up for me that night. Thank you.
Thank you to all 8 of our finalists. I didn't really plan wrapping up comments, but I have something I want to say. We tell our jury that they can choose 1 winner or 2 winners or 3 winners. And I'm going to give a little spoiler here. For the second year in a row, they've chosen 3. And I think that's because they don't really want to choose winners at all. Because every one of these finalists, as you have seen today, has entertained us, has made us think, and has really enriched our lives. I'd like you to give a big round of applause for the whole group. And finally, and this I did plan, we have a very meagerly supplied merch table in the back, because these are spoken word performers, so there aren't very many books, but there is one back there by Svens Telemaque, and there are a couple of notices for events that are upcoming by some of these performers, so please take a look. John is back there, he's waving his hand. I also want to remind you that if you want to be there at the moment that the 3 winners are named, you should come to the QWF Awards Gala, and remind you that you can find out more about that at our table in the book fair. And finally, I want to invite you to stick around if you haven't already made the rounds of all the tables of the wonderful publishers and wonderful books that we have here in English Quebec. We'd like you to do that, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Okay, thank you everyone for coming in today for this amazing series. I just want to, and also everyone online, just let you know, we'll be closing up the Zoom and the live stream. I'm not going to talk anymore. You should be hitting the book fair, visit the merch table, etc. Thank you everyone. Thank you all the performers. See you again at Fourth Space. Thank you.